Hello and good evening, or afternoon really. It is hot in this closed up car. This is what, take 4? But my alarm just went off and I was recording and it stopped recording and I'm like, oh no. But I was talking about fatherhood. I'm going to go over this again, but not right now. This was going to be finale part 2, and I may not even have a finale because I'm feeling led to also, well, let me show you this. This is a blast from the past. Look what I found. Look what Daddy found. This horrible thing. But I'm glad I found it. It's got all my notes on it, and I may go back to that. I may finish that. I'm sorry, I'm scratching myself. I may go back and try to complete a few things that I was missing. I was talking about fatherhood, the wrath of God. I got to get back to work. Psalms 103:13. Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. A fear is a healthy love of a parent. Of a child as loveth their parent, who disciplines them when they should. Speaking of discipline, Proverbs 13:24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. Is this King James? I don't know what version this is. But, spare the rod, spoiling the child, basically. But doesn't mean you abuse them. I even had to explain that to my oldest one time, who thinks they've been abused. I'm like, we have never abused you. We've popped you on occasion when we need to. And even when we did, we got the look of evil. We got the look of, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get revenge. And many times I was afraid to go to bed just because we had to discipline a behavior. And that was like when they were little. They're a teenager now, and we don't pop them now at the age they are. But we discipline in other ways. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. Psalm 65, 5-6. Proverbs 10, verse 1. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Heaviness. It doesn't mean she's fat. It just means like a weight on your shoulders. It weighs you down because you're not happy what your children are doing or the choices that they are making. It can bring your countenance down. It can change your personality. It can put you in a depression just because you've tried so hard to help discipline and raise your kids in a godly manner or a righteous manner, and you're not even abusing them, and they're under a good home. They're not being sexually assaulted. Where you're not abusing them in any way, just simple discipline. And they just retaliate and give evil looks as if they're possessed half the time, and don't do what they're doing half the time, and use their tongue in a spiketh way and cursing in a house that cursing normally is not tolerated in, etc., etc. These are learned behaviors that are not from inside the home normally. And so that's kind of where that's coming from. Matthew 7, verse 9. Oh, what man is there of you, whom, if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? We can take that literally, or I would take that in a way as if your kids are asking for the truth. Tell them the truth. Give it to them. They may not like the truth. They may act like the child they are and do this. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Well, you need to, because it's the truth. We're not going to cloud you from the truth. We're not going to mislead you. You need to trust us. You need to listen. And get off mass media. Get off your iPad. Get out of the social boards and believing hearsay and propaganda. Proverbs 20 verse 7, the just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. That's a good one. Ephesians 6:4, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And it's hard to know when to say the right things to your kids and when not to raise your voice, and when to raise your voice, and how we say things, and tone, and attitude, and having patience with teenagers. And teenagers, don't provoke your parents to wrath either. Just listen. Just listen. And on that note, let's go to Proverbs 4, verse 1. There's more to this. It has 1 through 9, but I don't have it all. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. So basically, kids, they got the word hear. I would say listen, not hear. We hear all sorts of stuff. Doesn't mean I'm listening to it. I'm not listening to the traffic out yonder. I'm not listening to the birds chirping over there. I may hear it, but it doesn't mean I'm listening to it. Listening and understanding what people are saying and getting the knowledge from authority and not shunning authority. So many kids are getting the wrong idea from, fake media. And what are they getting examples of? Of hating the police, hating people, hating teachers, hating this, hating that. And it's nothing but they're just learning about hate. Well, then get your kids off the internet. Get your kids out of politics. Back in the family. And we need to do stuff together. And we've been trying to do that this summer with our own kids. And it hasn't been easy, but we have had a lot of fun together. This is basically the same thing. Colossians 3:21. This is almost just like Ephesians 6:4, but it's fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. So Ephesians is telling us to nurture our kids and bring them to the Lord, while Colossians is trying to tell us not to bring them to anger. Do not let them be discouraged. It's almost the same thing, but it really isn't. One more. I've got to go back to work. Oh my goodness, I'm after my lunch hour. Proverbs 3, verse 11. There was more to this, but I didn't get it all. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. It mentions God here, but just take that out and put your dad. Just because we chastise you or get on to you doesn't mean we're mad. And so many kids get the wrong impression that where my own son goes, you're mad, I don't want to get you mad. I'm not mad. I'm trying to get you to learn. I'm trying to get you to grow. I'm trying to get you to mature. But you don't want to get the correction. You don't want to be corrected. You have to be able to knock the chip off your shoulder and go, wait a minute, maybe I have done something wrong. Maybe I'm not in the right. Maybe there was I can do this better. Maybe I could have done that a different way. Maybe I need to listen. And whether we're parents or kids, these are questions we also need to ask each other. Could I have done it a different way? How could I have asked that better? How could I have said that better? How is my tone? And sometimes we don't hear the tone that we say a lot. And my wife tells me all the time that my tone isn't good. Well, I almost have the duplicate voice of my brother. Yes, I have a brother. And I got to cut this short. But for the most part, I didn't like the sound of his voice. I don't like the sound of my voice. And we almost sound identical, which is just freaky. But We're years apart. He's a foot taller than I am. I'm a short guy. But over yonder, yeah, 10 minutes. I gotta close this up. I'm sorry, people, but I'll be back. I'll be back. Please take these to heart. Go over them, and yourself. You know, you can go online and do some simple stuff and go, you know, do a search for biblical definitions of this or that, you know, fatherhood, children or whatnot, and you will get a lot of hits. You will get a lot of verses, and it can be very fun. I will be back with another video. Thank you for watching. Blessed is God. Praise His name, and stay healthy.